So, friends, good evening. My name is Dr. Himanshu Gupta. I'm an orthopedic uh, spine specialist. My area of expertise is minimally invasive spine. And today, here, I would like to wish you all best of health and wishes from our uh, click to home healthcare. And I, as a director of Nivaran Pain Relief Centers and Nivaran Spine and Pain Clinics, would also like to welcome you all to this live Facebook session. And that's how science has progressed. We are all locked down in our houses, trying to avoid a deadly virus, trying to avoid any infections, unforeseen exposures to this deadly virus, for which most of humanity is actually looking for good treatment options. And here we are to spend some time with you guys to clear up your myths about back pain, neck pain, knee pain. So in effect, what we are trying to bring in, जो हम कहना चाह रहे हैं वो ये है कि not all back pains are slip discs, not all neck pains are cervical pains, not all knee pains are arthritis pains. So I hope we are able to take care and give justice to most of the common myths that we have in our population. So first and foremost, the most common myth that we usually have is, I have बैक पेन डॉक्टर, मुझे कमर में दर्द है और ये मुझे लग रहा है it's a slip disc. So I'll go step by step. So there are various myths that we would like to clear up as to why something would be happening. Agar somebody who ends up with a back pain which is short duration, recently हो गया, एक्टिव नहीं थे या एक्टिव थे, if you are active, if you are exercising and you got a back pain, most likely it could be a catch in the back, what is usually called as a simple muscle spasm, muscle pull. अगर कुछ भारी वजन उठा रहे थे, if you were gymming and your back was not strong enough or your posture was not good enough, you could have caused a deeper muscle pull, or you could have caused a disc pathology or disc symptom. So not all back pains are slip discs. That's very important to clear up right now. Similarly, like not all neck pains are cervicals. In today's time, most of us, सब लोग हम लोग बैठ के आई थिंक मोबाइल पे, लैपटॉप पे, आप लोग मुझे भी अभी मोबाइल पे ही देख रहे हैं, लैपटॉप पे देख रहे हैं, आईपैड पे देख रहे हैं, और हम लोग most of the time when we are spending our time in front of these electronic gadgets, we end up getting wrong postures of the neck, either bent to one side or the other side, or in extension, or too much of flexion, wherein these muscles in the neck which are not used to too much of pressure, they can get pulled or strained. अगर ये मसल पुल हो जाता है तो मोस्ट कॉमन कॉज ऑफ नेक पेन्स यूजुअली इज दी सर्वाइकल स्पैजम्स, cervical pulls. And if that is something which continues for some time, people who are younger population, who is majorly into the IT sector, who is majorly into seeing the work on the computers, the laptops, the number of hours that they're sitting in front of the laptops, meeting deadlines and stuff, that leads to consistently spasm or spasmodic muscles, which tends to cause a long-standing issue or a cervical spondylosis. Okay, acute condition is usually spondylitis. A chronic condition or long-term condition is spondylosis. Now, if this disc pathology, this muscle spasm continues for some time, or we get to or tend to have a jerk, tend to have a pull or a strain or an injury acutely on the neck, even that can lead to a disc prolapse. It can be a slip disc in the neck which is causing a little bit of a neck pain which has increased, or any arm radiations or this thing. So most important things that we are trying to clear up right now as the myths are, first and foremost, not all back pains and neck pains are slip discs. Okay, most back pains are self-limiting. They would end up getting themselves treated. I mean, we used to read in our books when we were doing our postgrads that if you have a back pain and you rest well, you will be better in 10 days. And if you are taking medications, you should be better in 1 week. So, I mean, that's the difference that it has. So, a natural healing to this process of a back spasm, yeah, neck spasm is something which is very much in place, but because of the wrong postures of our works, these spasms can sometimes last longer. Or if we do not give these things importance and we end up continuing with the muscle in spasm and we continue to exercise or work, then we can make this thing worse. Okay, so first myth is cleared. Second myth is that if I lift heavy weight, I'm gonna end up with a slip disc. See, the reality is, if you are trying to lift up weight which is more than your capacity of the muscle of your core strength to lift, तो आपको slip disc या back pull या pressure आ सकता है. And if this spasm is strong enough, it can affect the disc also. If you get a simple pain in the back on lifting something heavy, usually it should be self-limiting, it should improve. If it is not improving, then we should be seeking a physician's or a clinician's advice. Having said that, the second thing which could lead to a pain lifting heavy thing would be if the posture is not correct, wherein if we are bending from our back rather than bending from our knees. तो हाउ टू एक्सप्लेन दिस इज, आपको कमर से नहीं झुकना है. यू डोंट बेंड एट योर हिप्स, यू बेंड एट योर नीज, पुशिंग योर ग्लूट्स और योर हिप्स आउट, एंड देन यू बेंड एंड keep the weight as close to the center of gravity of your body, and then you have to lift it. So if you are lifting it in that fashion without any jerks, the chances of you ending up with a disc pathology or a back spasm is not there. In about 98 out of 100 cases, you will end up lifting the weight cleanly. Okay. Now the third thing, another myth which comes across is the fact that we have heard, Dr. Saab, that we should be sleeping on hard mattresses, or soft mattresses causes a lot of back pain. So currently when we are cleaning up and clearing up our myths about the back pain, we will first clear up only the back pain, then we go to the neck and the knees. So when somebody is sitting for long times, your back muscles are already strained, and if by the end of the day you're not able to stretch yourself up, you're not able to rest well, you can end up with back pain. So that can be another reason why you get a back pain when you are sitting for long durations in offices or your workplaces, and you end up with the back pain in the morning. But that's because of the wrong posture of your full day sitting. But yes, mattress has a little bit of a bearing, not a major bearing on your back pain. So people tend to go for very hard mattresses, which is also not the right way. The mattresses should be such which are conforming to your body's shape. आपका body का shape ले लेना चाहिए mattress को. And similarly, they should not be very soft that you just sort of, you're drowned in the bed. I mean, you just lie on the bed and you just sink in. That's something which is usually seen in most of the hotels and stuff that we go to, which is also not good for people who have had a back pain history. In those cases, it's preferable to sleep on the floor rather than sleep on the bed, even though you're on a vacation. Now, the next myth is that if I rest well, my back pain will go. This is a good point. But having said that, if your back pain is self-limiting, then definitely, even according to the international society recommendations, we advise bed rest for patients with acute back pain for 5 to 7 days duration. In these 5 to 7 days, most back pains get better. But is it the right way going forward, wherein if the back pain has not improved and we keep on resting? No. The more we rest beyond the 5 to 7 day duration, we tend to cause a lot of muscle weakness. Get my point right? you tend to cause your muscles which you are not using in your back, they tend to become weak by constant resting and bed rest. So that's an important point to sort of take note of, that prolonged rest does not cause cessation of back symptoms. ज़्यादा आराम करने से, सोने से कमर का दर्द नहीं ठीक होगा. 5 या 7 दिन से ज़्यादा रेस्ट का कोई रोल नहीं है. Then another myth is, if I do these asanas, these exercises, you will never have back pain. Again, the reality is, yes, there are some postures, there are some methodologies which should be followed, which will help you to avoid back pains on a long-term basis. But having said that, doing exercises is one part, and doing them with a trainer's advice or a doctor's or the physician's advice is one part. Most of us in today's time want to learn exercises and stuff from the internet, wherein we go onto the YouTube channels and various uh, trainers channels. उसमें जाके we follow their advice. Like people cook food, looking at videos on different platforms. Similarly, people tend to do exercises looking at videos on different platforms. But not all exercises are meant to be for all individuals. So you are supposed to be doing some specific exercises which would be definitely helpful in terms of getting you back strength. You get my point? So the most of the common exercises, if you are completely asymptomatic, अगर आपको कोई बैक पेन नहीं है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, so most common exercises usually are in yoga, wherein you are doing some core strengthening and some isometric. Core strengthening is strengthening your inner muscles, inner core strength. So you will be doing planks, you will be doing some crunches, you will be doing some semi squats, and if you are strong enough, then definitely squats. That is something which develops good strength in your lower back muscles. And extension or specific exercises for your back would be, like in yoga, you do the cobra posture or the bhujangasana, and you do the leg raise, so lying down and lifting one leg by at a time, both ways, front as well as back, then on your sides. So that's the way to strengthen your lower back muscles. And definitely for generalized strength in your lower back and your core muscles, walking, cycling, swimming, running are very good exercises. But again, the myth about doing exercises which are same for all is not right. It should be customized according to your body type and your body requirements. Now, the last myth that I would bring on to is that some specific eating habits influence back pain. That's not right. I mean, people who have had issues in terms of uric acid or some other problems with metabolic insufficiencies, they can actually correlate their back pains to be related to their diet. But most cases, most people would be having a good diet and not having any back pain. So try and have more foods and stuff which are good in your calcium content, good amount of vitamin D. So people who are vegetarians, they have limited sort of choices like paneer, soya, sprouts. People who can have non-vegetarian, even white meat, even chicken, that is, and eggs, and again sprouts. Exposure to sunlight is common for all. That's something which would be helpful. Okay, so these are the things that we would like to sort of bring forward in terms of the myths and realities related to back pain. Then I'll move on to the knees, and lastly we'll touch upon the neck or the cervical. In knees, what happens is any pain that somebody has in the knee on a normal walking, normal activity is not arthritis. That has to be ruled out, please. I mean, just clear up the concept that any pain in the knee, कुछ भी आपको घुटने में दर्द है, वो back pain है, that's not right. That's not arthritis. Okay, so we have people who visit us, who call us. In today's times, we are doing teleconsultations and we are seeing these people, wherein we have people who say, doctor, I started running 10 days back, and my knee is consistently paining. Now that, when you are talking about, is not arthritis. That's because your muscles in the knee, which is your quadriceps and your hamstring, आपका घुटने का आगे वाला मसल quadriceps कहलाता है, घुटने का पीछे वाला मसल hamstring कहलाता है. So if they are unbalanced, then you tend to have pain around the knee. So the area where the muscles are more strong, अगर front of the knee में muscle strong है तो anterior knee pain या आगे का knee pain होगा. अगर hamstring ज़्यादा strong है तो आपको posterior knee pain या back of the knee pain होगा. Again, we have uh, kids these days who play a lot of sports in terms of basketball. They want to do dancing, they want to do all these activities, and they again have these issues in terms of talking about arthritis. Again, this is not arthritis, this is a muscle imbalance which needs to be settled down by doing some graded gradual exercises, for which any physiotherapist from our team or anybody from your neighborhood area would be able to assist you and train you into strengthening your muscles in the knee well. Again, there has to be some things which have to go towards the arthritis diagnosis. So the warning signs that I would put across for patients or people who are listening here, so that they can approach a doctor if they have one of these, is if your knee pain is persistent, अगर ये लगातार चल रहा है, it's severe in intensity or it is increasing in pain, any activity is painful, any minor movements are painful, थोड़ा बहुत activity पे movement पे pain हो रहा है, then that is not right. And if you have morning stiffness, so post rest, अगर आप सो के उठते हैं और उसके बाद में आपको नी में ज़्यादा पेन लगता है, आप मूवमेंट के बाद में आपको नी में थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूव होता है, then again you are looking for having a doctor's advice for the same. And if the pain that you are having in the knee is now impinging or coming into the normal daily activities, so suppose going up and down the stairs, normal walk, or even walking on an incline or decline is causing knee pain, that's a sign that somewhere, somehow, if things are not improving and we are not right, we are missing on something, and we should be looking at getting a physician review for getting the thing sorted out. You get my point? तो अगर आपको घुटने में दर्द के साथ में सुबह स्टिफनेस रहता है, जो कि उठने के बाद, एक्टिविटी करने के बाद ठीक हो जाता है, अगर आपको सुबह के टाइम पेन बहुत ज़्यादा है, या आपका पेन लगातार बढ़ रहा है, या नॉर्मल डेली एक्टिविटीज़ मूवमेंट्स में भी पेन काफ़ी है, तो इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड पैरामाउंट कि आप एक डॉक्टर से मिलें. ये तो मोस्ट ऑफ द नी पेन्स दैट वी हैव कैन बी सेटल डाउन विद 2-3 एक्सरसाइजेज विच आर, इफ़ यू हैव अ एक्सरसाइकिल एट होम, अगर आपके पास घर में एक सिंपल एक्सरसाइकिल है और आप उस पर एक्सरसाइजेज कर रहे हैं, देन डेफिनेटली यू विल बी एबल टू हैव गुड mobility exercise for the joint. You can do some semi squats, you can do some calf raise exercises, which is again very good for the posterior compartment of your knee. You can do, if you don't have any other knee pains and you just want to do strengthening exercises, you can do jumping jacks, which is again good for the knee joint. And you can do in bed cycling or resting cycling. So I mean, you can lie down and you can do just one knee at a time cycling, which is very helpful in terms of the knee strength and mobility. Now next we would like to come on to cervical, neck pain. So any pain in the neck is not cervical, as I started off by saying. So अगर पोस्चर गलत है, मोबाइल पे काम करने का, लैपटॉप पे काम करने का, आपका टैब पे काम करने का, या नंबर ऑफ आवर्स ज़्यादा हैं, then people tend to have fatigue initially, and then that gradually moves on to the stage of spasm, pain. पहले थकान होता है, फिर दर्द होता है, and फिर radiation होता है. Radiation is basically when the spasm is sustained, causing nerve compression going into the hands. Now, the myths associated with cervical, the common ones which we associate with patient calls and messages and OPDs is, if you have any pain in the neck which is lasting more than 10 days, it is cervical. That's something which is wrong. First and foremost, this part of the body, which is comprising of your bones from your C1, which is the base of the skull, till your thoracic area, the C1 to C7, this area is called the cervical spine. any pain originating in the neck is not cervical. It can be a simple muscle spasm for the shoulder muscles. It can be a muscle pull on the side of the shoulders. So this could be a trapezius spasm. This could be a shoulder pain, or a stiff shoulder or an injured shoulder when we are not able to move freely and we lift it like this. That also causes cervical pain or neck pain. So not all neck pains are cervical pains, first and foremost. If you are, like most people in today's times, are glued on to electronic media and the mobile phones and stuff, that thing, that thakan thing, is the cervical fatigue. So the best way is to do some stretches, to do some break every 45 to 50 minutes. आपको खड़े होके थोड़ा सा बाहर घूम के मूव करके आना चाहिए. That's going to be very helpful in terms of getting your constant posture of the neck opened up. Secondly, when you are going out for a walk, when you are breaking your routine, just try and do some stretches wherein you should be able to do these stretches, you should be able to do these minor movements in terms of getting this stiff area of the muscles where the circulation is deprived. You can open that up. Okay. The third thing is, on a regular basis, you should be doing some isometric and strengthening exercises. So this exercise, this, and this, and this. These exercises are what we constitute as a cervical isometric exercises, little bit of extension exercises, which helps in terms of strengthening your neck muscles, so that when you are working in the offices or on the systems, you are not having these constant pains. Thirdly, any neck pain, whenever you have neck pain which has some associated radiation, you have some tingling, if it is causing some numbness in the hand, if it is causing any pull in the hand or weakness, you feel that the strength in the hand is weak. If you hold something, it might fall down. That's a sign of a little bit of nerve involvement from your neck. This is something which requires a doctor's opinion or a review with the doctor as to what is the actual cause. Sometimes it mimics a simple brachial plexitis, so a group of nerves from here which go into the shoulder and the arm also causes this sort of a symptoms, brachialgia. Sometimes just a carpal tunnel syndrome because of prolonged working on the computers with the wrist, this nerve being pressed on a constant basis by your mouse or the table causes nerve compression in the hand, which is again a sign of what we call as carpal tunnel syndrome. That is what is a simple thing which requires a doctor's intervention. So I hope if we have been able to sort of clear up most of the myths that we guys usually have. So we would be ready to take on some questions which we might be having. Right now, let me just check up. So we have had one question from Mr. Amit Khaneja, who says that if there is, what kind of exercise a person to do who is having contractions in L4 and L5. Now, Amit, first and foremost, contractions is basically you're talking about the space between L4 and L5 having narrowed down. So if it is beyond a critical level, which we would be able to see on the X-ray or the MRI, if it is beyond a critical level, then you can only do isometric exercises. If it is not that severe, if it is not that significant, then you can definitely go ahead doing some extension and core strengthening exercises, which will help to strengthen that lower back area of yours. You should avoid sitting prolonged. Most people tend to feel that sitting straight causes it would avoid any back pain, but no. I mean, sitting straight causes your spine to be in a wrong posture. You should be well supported. So, I mean, if you using a cushion behind your back on the chair, then your bottom should be touching the cushion. And if you're not using a cushion, then your bottom should be a little bit forward so that your spine angle is corrected and you're not slouching forward. You're not bending forwards. Again, Amit says, what to do if having pain in toes while walking and standing for longer time? Now, again, this, Amit, would be a sign of a nerve compression, a nerve pressure, or a nerve pull or irritation, which is not normal, which is absolutely not to be taken as a normal finding. This is one of the red flags. So, if standing or movement causes pain and stretch in the leg or the toes, it is not normal for somebody of your age. I would recommend that you see a good spine specialist around you and you get this thing sorted out before you start off with any exercises to cause any more worsening, because numbness or toe pain on standing or walking could be a sign of either a disc prolapse or a nerve compression in the recess where the nerve comes out. The exercises for both of them is different, so that's why we should be going ahead and getting a doctor's advice before starting off with exercises. Another question which comes in is from Ms. Joseph. She says that whenever I am taking anything above my head, feels severe neck pain, as in my workplace or my kitchen everything is above the neck. Is it prone to neck pain? See, you need to be good with your posture. If most of your time you're spending your time in the kitchen and most of the things are above your head level, I would recommend that if it is causing pain, you should keeping them at your eye level or little down. Secondly, you should be working on strengthening your extensor muscles, because the extensor muscles are supposed to be helping your neck while you are withdrawing things from above your head level. So the extensor muscles need to be strengthened. Obviously, this is not a good time for these exercises, but swimming in these cases has been shown to have very good results in terms of strengthening your extensor and the upper neck muscles. Any more questions? So we have one question that says, if we have knee pain, can we climb stairs? Again, we need to rule out which is the actual cause for our knee pain. If it is more to do with a patellofemoral, that is the front of the knee or the kneecap rubbing with each other, causing a sound in the knee, and it is causing pain, especially on using stairs, I would not recommend it to be done on a regular basis. You should avoid using stairs till the time you get your knee sorted out. But if you don't have any pain on using stairs, don't have any pain on movements on the stairs or on the incline, there is no point in causing it to be stopped. You can go ahead and do your normal knee movements, your normal using of stairs. Many patients who have arthritis, we tend to disallow them from using too much of stairs. That definitely causes worsening of your arthritic symptoms. But having said that, if you are able to have a good muscle balance around the knee, as I told you, आपका quadriceps और hamstring का strength अगर अच्छा रहेगा तो इस टाइप का पेन बार बार नहीं आएगा. The knee will be much balanced. Now we have we just received a question from Rachna Srivastav. She says, sitting on a chair for long causes stiffness. Any recommendations? So I think that's exactly what we were trying to put in and bring home the message कि अगर बहुत देर बैठने से आपको बैक में stiffness नहीं भी है, तब भी you should be looking at changing your postures. That's paramount, one. Secondly, you should be doing some stretches. वो बहुत ज़रूरी है कि आप जब उठ के थोड़ा सा घूमते हैं आधा पौना घंटा एक घंटा बाद, आपको बैक का थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेचेस करना चाहिए so that your back muscles are stretched out. And the fatigue is the one which causes the stiffness. There is a difference. इसमें फ़र्क है stiffness में and pain में. Stiffness would not cause you to get up from the chair. Pain would. So if it is just stiffness, best is to change your posture every 45 to 50 minutes. Try and doing some stretches and doing regular exercises for the strengthening of your lower back, which are basically isometric core muscles exercises and extension exercises. But if it is pain, which is worse on sitting for more than half an hour, 45 minutes, and you have to get up, you're not able to sit at all because of the pain, it is better to seek a doctor's opinion. So, Dr. Gupta, she asks me, what is the cause of current-like pain for a short duration in the knee joint or sometimes while running? Now, this is something which we usually associate with I would say early runners. Early runners are the ones who actually get into the running habit or the routine within some days of learning about it without having strengthened their muscles around the knee joint. So you need to have a good quadriceps and hamstring balance before you start running, because if your hamstring is weak, your quadriceps will further strengthen up और ज़्यादा मजबूत हो जाएगी रनिंग पे, jerk आने पे, and your knee cap, which is your patella, will tend to rub against your knee joint. So I'll just show you a thing, just a second. So this typically is your knee joint, and this bone is your patella, and this is the main knee joint. Okay. Now suppose this is your quadriceps and the muscle on the back is the hamstring. If my quadriceps gets stronger, it will tend to push the kneecap down. And if the kneecap is pushed down when I'm running and running, this portion of your kneecap tends to rub against the notch of the femoral bone or the trochlea, and that's where this thing forms extra bone or osteophyte. That's where it can rub against your knee joint in a particular angle and cause that current sensation of the acute pain, and then immediately the muscle goes into spasm, you get pain, you relax this, you do some hot water fermentation or icing, it gets better. So the best way to avoid is to balance out your knee muscles, the hams and the quads. If you are a runner, people who are actual runners, even in the gym and everything, you might have seen them doing regular strengthening of their quads, of their hamstrings. They do a lot of leg curls, a lot of cycling, they do a lot of squats, weighted squats and stuff, wherein they are balancing the knee muscles before this go on for the running part. So if you are having this pain, current like sensation, especially on running, or you get a jerk on running, you better avoid running for now till the time you balance out your muscles. Any other questions? Playing cricket gives me regular cramps in calves. So I would say, Mahendra, if you have regular calf cramps on playing cricket, either you are low on your salt content or your electrolyte content, your sodium electrolytes, potassium and chloride has to be maintained well, or you are, while you are doing this, you're dehydrated, which again, if you sweat a lot, can lead to loss of these salts, which can lead to calf cramps. Or if this is more towards the end part of the day, not actually doing the game, then it is more to do with what we call as simple calf spasms, wherein there is accumulation of lactic acid in the muscles of your calf, and especially if you are not used to doing these sort of games on a regular basis or doing sports on a regular basis, then you can end up with these lactic acid accumulations. The best way for these things is, post your game, you should do some stretches, you should rehydrate yourself well, have good amount of salt or lemon or lime, fresh lime, whatever, salt, fresh lime, to balance out the electrolytes, and that should take care of the symptoms. How can we, so there's a question which comes in, Nikhil, which says, how can we differentiate between a pain arising out of vitamin D deficiency or if it's a joint pain? Now, so there is a lot of myth again associated with vitamin D deficiency. There should be another session dedicated specifically to this. But having said that, what happens is, if you have a joint pain which is originating because of vitamin D deficiency, chances are very less that only a vitamin D deficiency will cause you a joint pain. But if any other problems like we discussed in the earlier part, a leg cramp or a muscle spasm or some sort of a knee arthritis or patellofemoral arthritis or kneecap pain is there, it can be made worse by a vitamin D deficiency, which is seen in most cases, wherein once you correct your vitamin D deficiency by having some supplements or exposure to sunlight is important, having good amount of milk, dairy products is important. Once you correct it, your symptoms of joint pain would improve to an extent, but definitely not fully, because there is an intrinsic cause to your pain. Vitamin D deficiency tends to cause more of generalized myalgias and pains. So, I mean, you do a little bit of extra work, you will end up with muscle pains or joint pains in the shoulder, in the hands, in the knees, in the legs. So that's what happens if you have a vitamin D deficiency. rather than just a simple focused pain on a particular joint that usually associated with some sort of an injury or any other cause. A simple vitamin D deficiency does not cause a joint pain. So we have another question which says, my son is jumping from bed or sofa on floor from height. Will this harm his knees? I mean, that's something which we have all done in our childhood. So I don't think so that is something which will impact his knees. But yes, if he's landing on his knees, that's not a good idea. If he's landing on his feet and he's getting a back pressure on the knees, it's fine. I mean, a little bit of jumping activities are definitely indicated for kids because they have pretty flexible joints, pretty flexible ligaments. They would be able to take up this force as the body would be able to sort of withstand this force, not a problem. If disc bulge you are having, then can everyone need surgery? No. I mean, if you have a disc pathology or disc pain, about 85% of people, according to the American data, would face a back pain once or sometime ever in their life. Anybody or 85% of the population would have back pain one or the other time in their life. And out of those, only 10% have disc pathologies. And even out of that, if I take it as 100 cases having disc problems, only 4 would end up as surgical cases. Rest 96 would improve with good exercises, posture management, physiotherapy, and posture corrections, and doing strengthening exercises for your back. So that's where 95 to 96% patients get better. People who have consistent or long term radicular symptoms, nerve pressure symptoms, are the ones who end up needing a disc surgery. Not all. So there's a question which is, do drinks like Bonvita and Horlicks that claim to strengthen the bones in kids actually work that way? I think it is basically a combination of two things. Obviously, they have to advertise for the products to be sold. But having said that, if you are mixing that with milk, milk by itself helps to strengthen the kids' bones, kids' muscles, and the bones. They get good strength amount of from the calcium that they're coming from your milk, curd, yogurt, these sort of things. And plus, they tend to have some amount of vitamins, DHAs, and some amount of protein content which is there in these, which helps in the muscle growth. If the kids are not having the milk plain, they're not used to having the taste of the normal milk that we all used to have, then in that case these can be added as just taste enhancers. But yes, a little bit of protein which goes in with it will help the kids. But having said that, the best source for kids growth is having normal diet, having good amount of protein in the diet which has all the balanced portions, along with good quantity of milk, at least 2 to 3 glasses of milk for growing up kids before they reach the puberty stage is something which is indicated. Someone asks, Mrs. Astanarang asks, if getting up in the morning I always suffer from back pain. So another one also asked, when I sleep my back hurts. So basically I touched upon it when we were doing our section on the back pain. So if during the whole day your posture has not been right, you have been sitting the whole day, and you end up in the night time after a couple of hours of movement, you end up with the sleep, the back is not yet rested well, the back has not yet relaxed well, it is still a little bit fatigued, and then you lie down, that can cause back pain. But if you get up in the morning with back pain, it is not something entirely to do with only the muscles. We need to look for the joints in your back, जिसको हम लोग फैसेट जॉइंट्स कहते हैं, जो काफ़ी केसेस में एज के साथ में घिस जाते हैं, जैसे नी के जॉइंट, शोल्डर के जॉइंट घिसते हैं, वैसे ही ये वाले जॉइंट्स भी घिस जाते हैं। उसकी वजह से बैक में जो जॉइंट्स होते हैं उसका फेसेट जॉइंट्स में आर्थराइटिस आ जाता है। दे टेंड टू बी पेनफुल आफ्टर रेस्ट। सो इवन if you sleep in the afternoon time for half an hour, 1 hour, and you get up after 1 hour of sleep, you will feel stiffness in the back. These are the sign of facet arthritis in the spine. It can very well be treated with good exercises and physiotherapy in most of the cases. अगर ज़्यादा होता है तो उस केसेस में कुछ इंटरवेंशन की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, जिसमें आपके स्पाइन सर्जन्स देख के फेसेट में ब्लॉक्स या रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी करके उसको हमेशा के लिए ट्रीट कर सकते हैं. I think there are no more questions, and if you all have actually liked this session, which was more like an introductory session about the myths and realities, which we thought about discussing because of the fact that there are not many people who know about the actual causes which would lead to a back pain. That is the reason why we sort of thought about having this session today. If you would need any more such sessions in the future, just let us know on our homepage of Click to Clinic Home Healthcare, or our pages of Nivaran Pain Relief Center India and Nivaran Spine and Pain Clinics Africa. Any other questions can always be answered on our pages. Thank you all for your time. I'll take your goodbye. Thank you.